All right.
Funny story, I actually threw up in front of his office.
Tastes like shit.
Don't be gross.
Yellowmouth Yuck after my
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yuck. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's Yucking time.
Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Christensen. With me today, old buddy from high school, Kaishon.
Hey, what's up, man?
Haven't seen this guy since dude. Yeah, man.
We're all grown up, man.
It's weird.
I just turned 20. I'm in another decade of existence.
Yeah, I've reached 2 of those now.
Man.
It's crazy.
No, I was just talking to. I think I was on Facebook the other day. I was like, man, I know I'm an adult. I know that I'm on a new path of enlightenment when I have, when I've successfully washed a new pair of underwear every day, and I have those to wear. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Brown streaks on the white tights for days, man. It's too much.
All right. Well, from what I've seen via Facebook, you've been all over the fucking place.
Well, yeah, there's just been a lot of projects, man. That's just, I think I was in the newspaper for like 6 weeks in a row, dude. Which is funny because none of my, young people don't tell me. It's always older people. Yeah. It's like 27
The last time you fucking picked up a paper.
Yeah.
Other than look at yourself.
Yeah, well, I work at a gym, so it's like everybody, like literally 27 people in one day just handed me the paper. They're like, have you seen it? Have you seen it? I'm like, yes, I've seen it. Yes. It's my likeness. Indeed. He is black. That is an afro. Good.
So what do you do over there? You're a personal trainer? Or?
I'm not a personal trainer. There's a while that my boss has wanted me to be a personal trainer, but really I'm a ballroom dance instructor probably most of the time. I just got certified actually. So now if you look on the international directory of ballroom dance instructors on DaVita's website, it goes Hessen, Germany, and then Kaishon in Idaho, and then Chicago, Illinois.
That's all in the fucking place.
That's right, man.
It's funny too because someone looks at you, last thing, last thing.
Yeah.
Ballroom dancer is what they're thinking.
Yeah, man. It's the afro, dude. I'm really good at the hustle. There you go. 70s action right there. No, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Mainly just, there's a high population of older ladies in my class, which is okay. That's the generation.
About older ladies.
Yeah, man. That's the generation that it applies to the most. Probably is an older crowd. But we're trying to bring it back to the mainstream. I'm teaching in schools, middle schools, high schools. So, who knows? I don't know. Got a couple dedicated students at least. So what makes you interested in ballroom dancing, especially because like you said, it's typically an older crowd? Sure, yeah. So really, if I'm being honest with you, so you remember, okay, if you guys listen, me and Nathan, we go back like way back, like middle school probably,
like 8th grade.
That's when I first came to Twin. So anyways, I had this girlfriend. Her name was
Yep.
He remembers.
I remember.
Oh man, that was I won't go any deeper into that, but anyways, so one time, right, I was over at her house and she was of the LDS variety, and so
we've talked about a lot on this podcast, so you're good. You're in welcoming arms.
Yeah, man. So I was over at her house, whatever, we weren't making out or doing anything, but we were watching Frozen actually, and then after Frozen, of course, the next thing we watch is Dirty Dancing, and so. Of course. And so
it's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, that's right. And so at the end of the movie, she thought it was cool, and at that moment she was kind of like, trying to ghost the Sean, dude. So I was like, well, what if I, it was always in the back of my head, I'm like, what if I became a ballroom dancer? Then she'll love me again. In my teenager mind. But anyways, yeah, needless to say, by the end of my senior year, I had my senior project learning how to dance. Found a poster in the trash. It said teen ballroom dancing. I'm like, that's it. That's my chance. I'm going to be cool again. And so I went, took the class, and now I'm here, man. It's been 2 years, I think, since I first learned. So.
And you're doing this for, like, a living?
Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised. A lot of ballroom dancers actually make a really good living. I can't say for sure, this isn't statistically accurate, but probably like within the 70,000 to 120,000 range on a salary for a ballroom.
It's a good living. It's not quite the 1%.
It's not
That's
quite the
pretty
one. Well, I mean, that's for our average instructor, just a regular Joe Schmo working at Fred Astaire or something. But
Yeah.
if you've won a couple national championships or a couple Emerald Balls or gone to the Blackpools or something, then that obviously, then you can kind of.
So they have like a whole league and everything,
Bro.
just like they have for like cheerleaders and.
Bro, okay, so like if you're trying to get into, so this is international. Like I dance American style rhythm and smooth, but I like to watch a lot of international dancers because European dancers pretty much dominate.
Probably hot as fuck too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. But yeah, so Ricardo Koki and Yulia Zagrachenko, those are the current world champions in international Latin champions, and they're dynamite, dude. They're super fast. So if you're listening, you should go check them out because that's how you. In my opinion, those are my favorite dancers that I like to watch. It's not like a lot of people think that ballroom dancing is like Dancing with the Stars. That's like 2% probably.
It's pussy shit.
Well, yeah, man. It's just like, there's not a. It's just a paid. So the problem is that as a ballroom dancer, social dances, right? There's a difference between. Technically, there's a difference between ballroom dancing and social dancing. Ballroom dancing has the connotation of being like professional. You compete.
Very formal.
Yeah, formal isn't necessarily the right word so much as like it's just professional. So you're a pro. You dance at pro-am competitions. Mainly you compete a lot. You have a professional partner that you compete with most of the time, or you do Jack and Jills or whatever, or an amateur. Some ballroom dance instructors dance with a lot of their students. But in social dancing, you're just a social dancer. So you go out to bars, nightclubs, dance clubs, whatever. And that's a completely different scene, right?
Yeah, that's where you go when you try to,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, you're trying to pick
Whole
chicks,
different scene.
man. Whole different scene. And so, as an instructor, you have to know social dances, and you know the basic to each dance, right? And then you go into the styles, international, American style, rhythm, whatever. But anyways, if you know the dances and you're an instructor, that's a good thing. But the problem with Dancing with the Stars is that those people only learn. I mean, maybe they know social dances, but there's a possibility that they could only be learning choreography. And so if you ask them, hey, can you dance cha-cha with me? They'd be able to dance you through their cha-cha routine, but could they dance like social cha-cha? Could they actually do that and apply that?
like reacting to the way the other person's dancing.
Exactly.
It's like an interactive experience versus just a rehearsal.
Yeah,
of
so
something that they've burned into them.
Exactly. So that's the only problem is that it's like, it's not that they're not real dancers. Of course, they're real dancers and they're very good dancers, professionals, but that's the problem that you run into with anything. Run into that with like theatrical traveling teams that are ballroom dancing. It's like, they have a specific few dances that they learn because there's certain dances that work well for shows. Like in my opinion, Hustle isn't really a show-worthy dance, like Hustle's just a really common, just social dance. Like if you did an entire group routine with country western swing, it's like, what do you do? There's so many more interesting dances like samba and paso doble, quick step, things like that, that you could do in the show. And so that's, I don't know, that's the difference in a nutshell. 5-minute nutshell.
I mean, there's a lot there, man.
Yeah, that's right. But there's a huge umbrella. It's almost like an underground industry, dude. Like, it's kind of weird. You only see it a lot in like professional studios, like Arthur Murray and Fred Astaire are the biggest ones, probably. DaVita is kind of an independent syllabus. In other words, like you have franchised dance studios, and Fred Astaire and Arthur Murray are the big ones, right? There's a huge, big hitters. They sponsor like Disney. Any performances that happen there, a lot of the national competitions things, Fred Astaire and Arthur Murray are probably involved in, and then there's probably some other franchise studios that I don't even know about. But as far as independent studios, all that means is that you're just connected to just a random. You might be connected to a yoga studio, and you just teach ballroom dancing on Friday nights or something, right? And so that's what Crossway is we're kind of an independent studio, and so DaVita is just a syllabus that you can use that's still independent. It's not linked to a franchise, so that you can be an instructor that doesn't have a studio. Maybe you teach out of your backyard or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so you can get certified in DaVita. Anybody really can do that. It's a hard process, don't get me wrong. It took forever. But, yeah.
Well, you said like 2 years.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, dude, is like we started training for the test, and it took us about 6 months to complete it, and I graduated with honors, not high honors, just honors, so it's kind of lame, but anyways, it took 2 months to get that done, or 6 months, sorry, to get that done, but it was the 2 years of prior teaching experience that I had just randomly, the things that my boss Chris passed down to me from teaching all those years of Fred Astaire, and then he was in the circus for 7 years before that, so it was like, you know, all that teaching experience and business experience, y'all just handed down to me kind of hand-me-down style, but DeVita really added some professionalism to that, and so that process took 6 months, but the 2 years of experience I had before that, I wouldn't have been able to get it done fast enough if I hadn't had that, so it was pretty crazy, man. It's a tough thing. But now I'm one of the only certified instructors in the Valley, so there you go. Good business.
I mean, it's kind of a monopoly, almost.
It's almost a
It's almost too good.
dude. Well, you gotta be careful, man. You got good old Casperson and Jesse. Was it Jesse Meyer?
Mr. Casperson that taught choir at the high school?
Yeah, he's not a ballroom instructor, but his choreographer for Jive is.
All right.
I'm not really going to get too far into that, but let's just say that their ground control ballroom, as far as a teen ballroom dance crowd, I think is our biggest competitors. That and Ovation, I think. I haven't really done too much research because we've had enough.
Important.
Well, we've had enough teenagers, so there's no reason for me to. I haven't. Yeah, and there's nobody else that's really dancing in schools like I am. So it's a little different, I guess. But, anyways. I don't know. It's cool. They're cool.
It's good shit, man.
Like them. Yeah.
What they say, if you love what you do for a living, you never work in a day in your life.
That's right, man. That's right. And ballroom dancing, let me tell you guys something. If you don't dance, you should absolutely dance. Because it's not a talent. So a lot of people think that dancing's a talent. It's not. It's a skill. It's like cleaning your house or taking out the garbage or something. Or computers, or like it's a logical skill that anybody can learn. I've taught deaf people, I've taught blind people, I've taught people that are half paralyzed. I've taught.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Paralyzed.
There's wheelchair ballroom dancing, dude. Like it's a broad field because you gotta understand. Like if you think about this logically, and here's my theory on it, right? I feel like people have been dancing since before the second person that was ever alive died. Like, the first person was born, second person was born, they danced together, and then they died, So ballroom dancing's probably been around for ages upon ages. And so it's been a pillar of our society. It's like, every state has a state dance. Ours is square dancing, I think. California's is West Coast swing. Some countries have national dances, like merengue is the national dance of the Dominican Republic. Like dancing is so inbred in the entire world. Ingrained. Well, that too, maybe. Ingrained in the entire world, man. It's everywhere. Social dancing is like one of the first cultural phenomenons I think came up. So,
I mean, it's gotta be, right? It's like
dude. It's like one of the things that we use to identify whether an organism is alive is whether it can move.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Sammy Howard?
Sammy Howard, no.
She's in a cover band called Cover Me, and she's a good friend of mine.
There you go. Okay, Sammy Howard.
Yeah, so something that I
Sammy.
well, like you said, that how dancing is more of like a skill you gotta like practice, get good at, rather than like you have to be naturally talented.
Sure.
She said the same thing about singing. Is like anyone can sing. You just have to find your own voice and just practice every day.
Dude, and I think that's true too. Because if you think about singing,
same thing. Talking with more notes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a cultural phenomenon. People have been singing for years. In fact, I'd argue,
millennia.
That millennia even. Singing and dancing were the first ways that we communicated with each other. Like written symbol, maybe hand gestures, but you could consider that dancing. What if it was? To cavemen, they don't know.
Hey, what?
Yeah, you know, they're like, hey, I'm dancing, right? Doesn't matter. Mamma mia.
Yeah.
Brigado. Give me that stone over there. Let me kill you with it.
Bunch of Italian ass caveman.
Hey, yo, Tommy, pass me that goddamn club. You know what I'm saying? Need to go kill that saber-tooth tiger there. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, dude. Ballroom dancing's fun. You don't dance though, do you? Do you?
No.
Man.
I ain't got rhythm, dog.
You got
No, I sing.
You
I
know
sing
a
a
guy.
lot.
You know a guy, bro. You know a guy. I can get you those skills, man. Get up in that club, bro. Doing some
Who's
salsa.
that club?
Salsa.
Do I look like... I want the audience to
Bachata.
take a look at me right now. Me as a whole. Do I look like a guy that belongs in a club? The answer is no.
Listen,
The answer is no.
Listen.
It's rhetorical.
you could do it. I think so. Who all have you had on this show, man?
So this is going to be...
We got to take a trip down memory lane, dude. These people
Yeah.
don't understand, bro. What you're doing.
All right, we're back. Sorry, so memory lane.
That's insane. I just realized something.
What?
I have a Yeti mic. And I've always thought I had to be next to a computer to record. But you're recording into a USB port. It's blowing my mind. What? Anyways.
You have a
Memory.
snowball? Or do you have a...
I don't know. Actually.
Does it look like mine?
It does look, it looks the same shape, but black.
Oh, yeah, that's just...
Got it from Walmart. Like $150.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Just black.
Cool.
Yeah. Next time you should bring that over and we can have our own separate tracks.
I was gonna do it, but I was like, he probably has some XLRs, man.
No. I'm not that professional.
You're in the USB land.
I'm in the USB age still.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's still, like I said, this is still the early show because this will be episode 7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
the first episode is the pilot of this show is just dog shit. We didn't even know what we were doing. It was me and one of the buddies who used to play Yu-Gi-Oh with Jonathan.
Okay.
And episode 2 was with an internet comedian guy who makes like weird. I describe it as the modern art of video editing.
Okay.
Like, you know those guys that just sell like fucking white canvases
Sure.
for like gajillions of dollars.
Sure.
He's that of video editing, and he makes like comedic, weird, informational videos like that. His name's Kimball Maxwell.
Okay.
Shout out to my
Interesting.
boy Kimball. He's the best Jew.
Okay. That was a bit aggressive.
The best.
I'm right.
And anyone that disagrees with him is an anti-Semite.
Okay.
That's the rules.
Okay.
Episode 3. Episode 3 is with Sammy.
Okay. Sammy Hogart? Howard. Okay. There
Right.
you go.
I think that's it. Episode 4 is with an actual, like, real famous comedian, Asterios Kokonos.
Okay. Nice.
He has a long story, and we'll get to talking about him later today because we have some news from him. And then the next episode with his girlfriend Sriracha, who makes content with him.
Sriracha.
Yeah,
I'm with it. Okay.
yeah, she's fine as hell, dog.
Bro, come on, dude. That's your boy. I'm just kidding. Shut up.
I could throw a compliment.
Shout out to Sriracha. Subtly spicy. I'm with it.
And then the most recent episode, one that's right before this one, was with WikiLeaks on weed.
Okay.
These cool guys from Maryland, right?
Maryland.
Massachusetts.
Ooh.
They're right on the coast, man. They're right on the beach.
Really? I was just on the
And
coast.
they just smoke a bunch of weed and talk about political issues on their porch, and it's like a super down to earth like kind of deal. Like they're super reasonable, like good guys are just looking for solutions in the universe, you know.
Sure. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to anyone. Shoot me an email.
Dude.
yuckproductions@gmail.com.
Just bring my dog on, dude. My dog has an Instagram. I don't know if you knew that, but
You got an Instagram for your dog?
dude, listen, man, you gotta make money, bro.
You make money off Instagram?
I gotta pimp this dog. Well, I will. Yeah, she got beautiful eyes. Name's Nanook, the dog. At Nanook the dog.
All right, I'll link it.
Hit it up.
I'll link all your stuff.
Yeah, I've got like 6 Instagrams, dude.
Yeah.
I've been playing around with the Facebook stories lately. I think. I don't know if you noticed. Been putting out some.
Well, I
some
think because
story
you went like
content.
to Europe or something on a dance trip, right?
Nah, I went to Bellingham, Washington, but yes,
Oh, okay.
it close.
I thought you were going way all over the place. That's not even close.
No, not even close.
And I think
no.
I saw that on your Facebook story. That's just why I said you were really busy because I thought you were going all over Europe and Asia.
Ooh, no, man, not yet. No, I'm not
Eventually.
a professional ballroom dance instructor. I'm just a guy. All right, I got a certificate. It says I'm certified in American style rhythm and smooth. There you go.
That's all you need.
Yep, it's competition 9, man. Mambo, cha-cha, rumba, bolero, and East Coast swing, and then you got American waltz, American foxtrot, American tango, and Viennese waltz. You got those dances, and get this, dude. So here's I'm gonna get low down on the certification process. It might be boring. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's cool.
Anyways,
Go.
Competition 9, dude. So those are the 9 that I'm certified in now. That's the bronze, right? I'm certified at associate level, right? But then you got master and you got grandmaster. 1 second. So anyways, you got grandmaster, master, grandmaster, okay? And you got those 3 levels for every single certification, okay? So I'm only certified in 9 dances, but there's other alternative dances and nightclub styles, country western styles. So you got salsa, you got West Coast swing.
Wait, so there is. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the right way to phrase it. So there is a standardized recognition of specific nightclub dances throughout the community.
Yeah, so the way that so nightclub, you're probably thinking like nightclub dancing, like grinding and stuff.
Yeah.
Like nobody
try to get dirty.
Listen to me. Nobody took grinding and said this is now a dance. That will never happen.
That's just fucking with clothes on.
Yeah, dude, man.
That's all it is.
Listen, yeah. So anyways, no. So what you would consider a nightclub dance is essentially how compact that dance is and where it was developed, right? But it even gets more hairy scary than that because like tango, for instance, in America, I wouldn't consider that a nightclub dance, but it was developed like in brothels. That's where kind of tango originated, in Buenos Aires. But anyways, nightclub dances are considered dances that you could dance in a small, compact environment. So like...
when you're crowded as fuck.
Yeah, so like salsa, for instance, it's a slot dance, and you take small steps, but you can dance salsa when there's like 250 people in a room that's supposed to have 40 people, right? Because you got this little slot, and you can just dance in that. You can do crossbody leads, underarm turns, things like that within that thing. And so it's considered a nightclub dance, 1, because the music gets danced to, and 2, because of how you can dance to it. But the difference is like dances that are considered smooth dances or standard in Europe is like waltz. Travels around the room, takes a shit ton of space. You're just going, dude. You need a 40 by 40 ballroom dance floor, even bigger than that, right? It's made it Viennese waltz, impossible to dance in a small room. You gotta have a long
It's
floor.
a good amount of cardio.
Yep. Tango is probably the only dance that's like you can curve your basic and make it more compact, especially Argentine tango. But again, foxtrot's supposed to be big, supposed to be really expressive, huge steps, huge strides. There's a lot of technique, supporting leg action that goes in that. So anyways, that's what a nightclub dance is considered. And so like hustle's a nightclub dance, salsa's a nightclub dance, there's a nightclub two-step. You've got West Coast swing, you've got merengue, you got bachata. Bachata's a big one here, man, especially in Boise. Well, no, actually, Boise, I think, is a lot of West Coast salsa and tango, Argentine tango. At least that's what the heirloom teaches. But anyways, yeah, swing dancing is huge in big cities too, like Portland, a lot of street swingers. Boise has a lot of street swingers. I would imagine San Francisco probably. Correct me if I'm wrong, but San Francisco, if you have any viewers in San Francisco has some swing.
No, I got a weird listener base. It's like got a couple guys in Louisiana.
Really?
Got a couple guys in Europe.
Whoa!
Don't know where.
Dude, come on.
And we're growing all the time. Like every time I upload an episode, just triples in downloads. I'm just like,
there you go.
It's good, man. We're
Europe.
growing.
We're talking to you, man. You guys know. Ballroom dancing's huge in Europe, man. Well, certain parts. In fact, my boss used to have the Moldovan national champion in his studio. He always talks about that. He's champion from Moldova.
Which is...
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's like...
But I think Moldova's like by... I think it's like by... maybe it's by Bulgaria. Czech Republic? I don't know.
In the Slav area?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
right. That's right. I assume.
It means fuck off.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
there
Russian.
you go. There you go. Yeah, man. So there you go. No, that's a cool industry, man. You got to get chicks.
I mean, that's why you did it to begin with, that you just had fun, so you sticked around.
Listen, that's why I did it to begin with, but it hasn't become that. Now it really is it's a cool way to connect with people, man. You teach people how to physically connect again. Some people, man, you gotta understand, when you're married, people married for like 15 years, they ain't having sex no more, dude. They're like, well, I mean, rare, small percentage. But for the most part, it's like they're probably angry at each other, a couple kids down. Sometimes the spice isn't there, man. So you gotta reinsert it, right? Some people...
Sure, you do it in 4K. You're coming in a black guy cucking him.
Okay, let me reword that. You gotta re-spark, gotta rekindle.
You rekindling get 4 of them.
That's right.
And you're just staying out of it after that. You just
That's right. No, man, you get a lot of, with private lessons and stuff like that, you get a lot of broken marriages. You get a lot of budding marriages, But a lot of people think that sex is the only way, dude. Like just foreplay, kissing, and sex. That's it. A lot of people think that that's like the physical connection. That's wrong. There's an entire spectrum, and ballroom dancing helps people realize that. It's like, now you can touch each other, but you're not actually technically having sex. I mean, you can consider it foreplay.
like we said with grinding. It's just sex with clothes on.
Yeah, man. It's like,
Or off sometimes. Depends on what
yeah,
program.
I mean... Yeah, we don't do that at our studio, but gotta be careful. But no, it definitely helps people, just get their relationship back. Be there for each other. Get that connection back. The dances that you do just depends, man. Every situation's different, but it's definitely been more enlightening than I thought it would be. I was a much younger man then.
That's weird, man. It's because you always talked like this since we were, like, you always talk about finding a road to enlightenment, or like
Sure.
finding a higher consciousness of being, and I didn't understand this until like super recently,
right?
When I started like getting my shit together, like why I started the podcast and everything.
Yeah, man.
The same thing, and I was talking about I'm gonna have Parker on eventually. Remember Parker?
Parnell?
Yeah.
Lives in Japan.
I'm gonna have him. Yeah.
Something like that.
He like, some people just like develop in like specific mental aspects way quicker than others. Like Parker was talking about like politics and like his political side of things. Like he must have listened to NPR since he was in the womb or something.
Dude, that dude he's a smart kid. Smart little cookie. Got my samurai swords from him. Not that has anything to do with being smart.
I mean,
yeah, man. Parker's a cool guy. We got to get into the nostalgia factor, man. Gotta tell some stories from our.
All right, yeah, let's go. So let's see. What's your first memory of me? It was probably like freshman year.
Dude, the Nathan. Ooh. No, I think it was in 7th grade, bro. I got a good memory. I think it was in 7th grade. Memory, so you mean something that we made with each other. I think you were hanging out with the same... Weren't we hanging out with the same group? We used to hang out by that generator or something?
Yeah, kind of. I was bouncing... I was bullied. Like I've said on the podcast before, I was bullied all the way through middle school. So I jumped between people just to try to find something to latch onto.
Man,
but
that's the way... So one memory I remember... I don't know if you want me to tell this story, but anyways, I remember...
We're not live, so it's cool. You can say anything you want, man.
That's right. You can edit it out. I remember, I think it was freshman year, Black Ops 2 had just hit the scene. I think. Sometime in there. I don't know the exact time. But anyways, Black Ops 2 had just hit the scene. And we'd all been into playing some World at War zombies, I think. But now Black Ops 2 is coming in. I'd played Black Ops 1 with my cousin John. But now we're here on the new frontier. They got some lava going, transit action.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, no, I remember it was at the end. No, yeah, that's right. Origins had just hit the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we had Seth here. Who was it? Seth, Tristan at the time. Man!
Tristan, that motherfucker.
Oh! Okay, so anyways.
He's
got
in jail
Seth.
right now, I think. But
Man, I don't even know. So you got Seth, you got Tristan, you got... Who else you got? We had Parker. It was Parker that first night. So anyways, I get this invitation. And I had known Nathan for a while. Just off and on, friend. Because I... Same
talk
thing.
to each other at school and stuff. We never like hung out outside the school.
Exactly. And so I get this invitation. He's like, "Hey, I just got Origins downloaded on my my Xbox. We're all gonna play tonight. Are you down?" I'm like, "Of course." And like, I don't know what was happening. I think at that. So okay. So here's the story about being black in school. Okay, when you're a black kid.
Well, you're one of the 4 black people
I
in
know,
Idaho.
Exactly. In Idaho. In that specific high school, you only had 2 token black kids, pretty much. You had me and you had Jason Sims. And we're on completely opposite, just so you know, completely opposite mindsets, right? And so, no offense, Jason. And so, it was funny because I was a black kid, I was super socially awkward kid in middle school as well. But because I had an afro and I was black, people wanted to hang out with me. I don't know why.
Cool shit, that's why.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right, but there it is. So anyways, so I'm, I don't know what had happened, but I got some vibes from the Nathan that he thought that I was cooler than I was. And so I'm like, all right. So I'm coming to the house, and all I remember Nathan saying, as soon as I get in the door, he's like, "Oh my God, Kaishon's in my house. Kaishon's in my house. Down in the basement, Kaishon's in my house." I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? I'm just here to play zombies, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on." And so,
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, man. It was so funny. Not from your perspective, but that was a crazy night. I remember because you had the, what is it, the wake juice or whatever you call it. It was like Mountain Dew with freaking pure cocaine or something. I don't know what it was, but he had like a
wake up juice. I remember making that. It was
wake up juice, dude. It was like an entire liter of Mountain Dew, and then you drink half of it yourself, and then pour in sugar.
Pour like
what was it like?
Just pour even more sugar. That's it. Just more sugar.
That's it. More sugar, caffeine pills, couple Xannies.
Just get fucked. Call it wake up juice because it's like. The way humans experience time is it's like it's all in perspective of how long you've already lived. So when we're 14, it's like we get fucked by school,
dude,
5 days out of the week. So it's like when you get those 2 days of the weekend, you gotta go hard all weekend.
You gotta go hard, dude.
And so that's what I was like, I'm gonna ingest as much sugar as possible. And we're going to play until school starts.
Oh, man.
2 days from now.
That was crazy, dude. we were much younger men then. I don't know if I could do that. I think my kidneys would give up.
Yeah.
Been waking up, been pissing blood for a couple mornings, man.
You mean for real?
I attribute it to old age. I don't know what's going on. No, I'm kidding. No, that was crazy, though, man. Those were some good times. We bonded a lot over zombies. Especially like you, me, and Seth. That was pretty much the core group. Tristan kind of faded out. Parker did his own thing.
Yeah, he was doing weird stuff, though.
Adley was there, too.
Yeah, Adley was there, too, but...
Adley's doing his own stuff. They're living together now, I think.
Adley and...
Parker? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're down in Jackpot or something.
Well, I know Parker's down in Jackpot, but I thought Adley was running off to the army.
He was for a while, but I think he...
ran into some complications.
I'm running into some complications, man. Now he's down there. We got to get Adley on the show, man.
Oh, man. I can't wait.
Talk about some funny guys, bro. We were heathens back then. I've come to the Lord now, but
come to the Lord.
We were heathens back then, man. Gosh, that was some crazy stuff. Here's the dynamic. This is what's crazy. Is like I was saying, I was in the weirdest position in high school because everybody thought that I was cool, but I'm the most awkward kid you've ever seen in your life. Like, you think that this nerd's awkward? I'm more nerdy and more awkward than any of these guys. Except for Nathan, of course. No, I'm just kidding.
I was a special kind of degenerate.
No, it was good, man. So, it was crazy, especially at Twin Falls High School. What a weird place. Not as bad as Canyon Ridge, but
I mean,
I just want to be sure you know that.
like I said, I did not.
What's Seth up to lately, dude? I think he's working for his father, laying some floor or something.
I don't know what happened to him after he got out of the Navy. He's been posting some weird shit on Snapchat. That's all I know, man.
That's Seth for you, dude.
Yeah.
I know he hit me at, I literally hadn't talked to him for 2 years. He hits me up the other day and he's like, hey, I need to go move some lumber in Murtaugh. You down? at 7 in the morning. I'm like,
Boy!
I would have done it for him. Like, I'm a nice guy, but I had work the next morning, so I was like, nah, I can't do it. But this is random, man. It was like, wow, going crazy.
Must have been fucking desperate or something.
Dude,
like, you
I
really
don't
need
know.
to get that shit moved.
I don't know. Hunter? Ooh, got Hunter.
Oh man, he went off a bender, dude.
Did he? I know he's working at Five Guys. Some the other day.
He's working at Five Guys.
Yeah, he's like
Into
an
it?
assistant manager at Five Guys. Been there forever, I think. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I was just, God, listen, I don't even need a Five Guys.
It had probably been like close to a year ago. I was going through like a weird emotional phase. I wasn't living here at the time. I was living with a roommate. And I was like, I want to reconnect with some of my old friends. So I text Hunter, see what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm hanging out with Seth. You want us to come pick you up? He went and picked me up, and he's driving his fucking bright-ass yellow Jeep.
And he loves that Jeep, dude.
And we went across the canyon, and he fucking almost wrecked the fucking Jeep like twice.
Whoa, dude.
They like to go hard.
Going hard, man. There you go.
It just, like, I hadn't seen him in a while, and they just thought the best way to make it up for lost time was just to fucking scare my nuts into my asshole.
You gotta drive you off a cliff, man. That'll scare you. Get your balls to drop a little bit.
All right, we're back again. So, story time.
Okay.
That person we're just talking about that lived down the street from me
Sure.
for a while. Her older brother.
Yeah.
My dad, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we just hear like flap and like wood clanking against each other like super hard. And so I run up.
Fighting? Got some bokeh.
And so I would go upstairs because it woke me up in the basement. My dad's fucking pacing because it woke him up.
Sure.
And I'm
And
like,
your dad's super intense. He'll kill somebody.
yeah. And so
Shoot somebody
I'm like,
down, dude.
we're looking out the window, and these motherfuckers are out at 3 o'clock in the morning, middle of the street, beating each other with broomsticks, sword fighting.
Gosh,
No
dude.
form or
What?
anything. They're holding them like way on the end, like there's like their fucking lightsabers, beating the shit out of each other. And my dad's like, "Hey, if you guys don't go fight somewhere else, I'm calling the cops." No, I think he said he's gonna get his gun or something. It was
Damn, your father, dude. He probably did say something like that. He's like, "Listen, I'll shoot you. You got 5 seconds."
You want me to toss that for you, bro?
I'm not done with it. Dude.
Oh, okay.
Still drinking, bro. What you talking about? Yeah, I said, calm down, homie. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's crazy and stuff. Like, people just fucking do the weirdest shit.
Dude.
Twins growing, and the more cities grow, the more fucking weird shit starts happening.
You don't understand, man. I've seen some weird stuff. There's just been a lot of so I'm not gonna say obviously where I live, but I live in a weird place. For me, I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I'll bring you over to my house later, but there's some I live in a middle class neighborhood, which is weird for me to start with, right? But then the circumstances that I got to get into my house were just really fortunate. I mean, that whole process was really pretty smooth, and I'd made a lot of connections through ballroom dancing, and so I had some good recommendations. Got into the house. I'm a responsible dude, so it's been good so far. But it's just the weirdest place because it's I almost consider it in Harry Potter, Sirius Black's house. It just comes out of the bricks, and then all of a sudden it's this new, like, it's just like this, like, for a 20-year-old boy, you would not expect me to pop out of the house that I'm popping out of and be like, oh, he lives there? That's weird. Strange, okay. And so it's weird because then,
His
like,
dad's an athlete.
yeah. It's weird because then you're like, okay. And it's an interesting situation. I don't really have to go into the specifics on that. But anyways, let's just say that it seems like a house that is too good to be true in a neighborhood that is also too good to be true for me, if you know me.
You renting it, or
where I come from? I am renting it.
Oh,
I am
okay.
renting it. And it's super cool. It's a cool situation. Everything's included, like lawn care and everything. Super cool. But anyways, so yeah, it's weird. And so weird stuff happens because, like, it's right by the college, you know? And so I'll hear, like, I think fireworks were, like, hitting my window one night. Like, I was sleeping, and I just heard, like, a BAM! Scared the crap out of me. I got PTSD and stuff, man. I was like, listen, I'm about to samurai chop somebody's neck off.
Oh yeah, that was also something. Speaking of the Afro Samurai,
Ooh.
that was something that me and you bonded over a lot.
Ooh, you don't even want to talk about the Afro Samurai, dude.
No one else likes it as much as me and you.
Really?
I show it to everyone.
true.
It's the best
True.
like Western anime,
Dude.
known to God.
Unbeatable.
Samuel L. Jackson plays every black guy in it. What more do you want?
Exactly, dude. He plays Ninja, and he plays the Afro Samurai, man. That's crazy, man. That show is so deep too. There's
so many weird theories, like Ninja Ninjas.
Metaphor. It's crazy.
It's supposed to be like his consciousness.
Yeah, dude.
Because he just like pops in and out, and he's not really there. But...
Right, but he's like the silly stuff, man. Ugh, Ninja, dude. Afro Samurai was legit. That's also, by the way, the only costume I've ever fully cosplayed in is Afro Samurai.
Oh man.
Real samurai sword and
you
Hakama.
fucking bushed up your eyebrows. And
Bushy
shit.
eyebrows, got some sideburns going, dude.
It was good.
Like mega fried my afro. Right now I got to pull it back, but I got like an 8-inch afro right now.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. But anyways, yes, Afro Samurai. But anyways,
you can pirate all of it on YouTube,
dude. Yes. High school though, man. I remember going over to Seth's house. You guys are pretty... To be honest, like, I had Adley. He was a good friend of mine in high school. Then I had Nathan and Seth. You two were kind of a duo at that time, right? Of, like, us just hanging out in a triangle, you know, playing zombies or video games or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you had Preston and Zane.
Yep. Still talk to them. I'm gonna do an episode with them soon, too.
They're legit, dude. You guys haven't met Preston and Zane? They're the best. They got me a job up at Magic Mountain. That's hit me right in the feels, dude. Got me, man. Reminiscence. It hasn't even been that long. It's been like 2 years. It's really interesting because like I'm gonna be here for a long time probably because I'm really invested in the community and building a lot of stuff here. Both with video, I do a lot of video projects. Like did the lip sync video for the sheriff's department. I think Wrights Physical Therapies. They asked me to do some lip sync stuff for them too. Lip sync stuff for them too. So I've been doing a lot of video stuff, a lot of dancing, a lot of acting. I've been acting in shows, but that's normal for me anyways. But yeah, it's been interesting to see people around the city, dude. It's the weirdest thing. When you stay in a hometown, and you gotta understand, if you've never been to Twin Falls is like, it's on the verge of becoming a fair to Midland city.
Yeah, we got 50K.
Yeah, we got 50K. We're hitting that point where you're like, as a small town person, or you thought you were a small town person, you're
not
like,
anymore.
Get out of here. This is my house. This is my home. You guys are invading. You know, you got a lot of weird. Yeah. And I'm not talking anything political. I'm literally just talking just people in mass. Like no specific type of person, just people. You know?
Some whatever scientist studies the exponential growth of a population in a certain area says that we're supposed to swallow up Kimberly, Burley, all those surrounding small ass towns. We're just gonna eat them up, and it'll be like Utah, how like Sandy's just like kind of in the middle of Salt Lake and like Jordan and stuff. Yeah. But Salt Lake goes out and around them because it's just so big. Right. That's how Twin's gonna be.
Yeah, you got cities like what was that? South Mountain Community. Wherever South Mountain Community Church is, I just went down there. SMCC. It's a good place, actually. Really good church. Anyways, it's somewhere. It's like a suburb city. Something like that. Anyways, no, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, man. We're coming for you, Burley. We're coming for you, Kimberly. We're almost there, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump the canyon. Probably get into the desert land.
You gotta fight Jerome for that, but
yeah, Jerome, man.
Yeah, that's another funny thing too. Is I think I remember talking about this with you too. Is Evil Knievel came out here 4 decades ago, like as long as time ago.
Oh yeah, and his son's gonna attempt it, right?
Something like that.
Right.
But here's the thing too: is Jerome County is on the other side of the canyon.
Right.
You wanna?
Nah, I'm good, dude.
Okay, just make sure.
The tone. It's a good friend of mine. Anyways.
Jerome County wouldn't let them build a landing ramp on the other side. He never planned to jump the canyon. He just fucking threw a motorcycle out there to blow up and parachute.
Wow.
Like it was never a plan to. And then his son's trying to do the same thing.
Conspiracy, dude? Come on, Jerome County. What are you doing? It's like the most famous thing on the Prime Bridge.
No. The most famous thing about the Prime Bridge is it's the only bridge in the United States you're legally allowed to jump off of.
But I'm saying, like, the Prime Bridge is one famous thing. Evil Knievel is, like, the next big thing.
Yeah.
That's happened here.
Other than that, everyone, like, anytime I ever talk to other podcasters, stuff online, they're like, so potatoes, right? And I'm like, yeah. All of us live on potato farms.
Indeed.
Our neighbors are all 6 miles out away from each other.
You ain't ready, dude. We got potatoes for days. That's not true.
Man. Dude, it's nice. Because it's like, it's a good source of low carbs and nutrients, and you can get a 20-pound bag for $3.
You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's awesome.
Good
man.
shit.
Potatoes are where it's at. We can survive a famine. Irish people did it.
Yeah.
We can do it too. That's right. No, dude. But like I was saying, it's super weird to like run into people from high school and like see them now. And I always knew this, you know, like you knew this too. When you're in high school, listen, if you're in high school right now, I'm just gonna cue the sad music. If you're in high school right now, everything gets so much better because everybody that you thought was popular in high school, all of a sudden they realize, some people are cool, but other people that are really like kind of a dickhead to you, and they're like, nah, we don't mess with him because he's got glasses or something like that. They ain't got skills, man. So you see them 2 years later, and they're, you know, at a gas station working, or, you know, garbage men. Nothing wrong with garbage men, but not where they wanted to be. They were talking about, yeah, I'm gonna go to Princeton, man. I'm gonna go to Harvard. And you see them, and you're like,
I'm gonna go play ball for this school.
Yeah, and you're like, man,
You ain't doing shit.
yeah,
You ain't doing shit. Just like the rest of us.
man. You're just like the rest of us. Just a human being in this world trying to make a living.
Yeah, man. High school, man.
It's an equalizer. It's tough, man. It really is
It's the thing too, is like, education system is so fucked. Like, it's so old and outdated, and it's just not how people learn anymore. You gotta like trash can the whole thing. You gotta redo it. And not only that, plus you have like all the mental health issues that are like I think is a byproduct of the way schools are ran.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, because you gotta, you know, I think
it's not a...
Other countries have it right for sure, where you can go into a trade school, you know what I'm saying, at a really young age. If you see, that makes sense to me, you know, that's intuitive. You see your kids good at computer science, you throw them in a computer science school. You see your kids good at acting, throw them into an acting school. You know, if they change their mind, you can throw them into a different school. Like, it doesn't have to be like one size fits all. And I understand, like, really what it is, in my opinion, is that you've got an economy to run, right? So you got, you know, as much as we don't want to admit it, everybody wants to do cool stuff. You know, everybody wants to run podcasts, everybody wants to be a YouTuber, everybody wants to be an influencer on Instagram, whatever. But we do need people to be garbage men. We need people to be plumbers. We need people to be electricians.
Need people working at McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. You need the when you want to go pick up a sausage egg McMuffin at 9 o'clock at night, right? There's got to be somebody to provide that for you. So there have to be workers for that. But the thing that our society, I think, has underestimated is that those jobs are made to churn people, you know?
Yeah.
It's made to be a job that you have in high school. It's not made to be a permanent... You're not supposed to be 45 at McDonald's.
It's not a living wage.
It's not
a minimum
designed
wage.
like that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're working at McDonald's and you're 45, no one's judging you. But I'm just saying that it was originally designed to be a job for a high school student that is going to school and then making money on the side. It's not supposed to be anything. Yeah. You know, and so it's... I think there's a lot of convolution.
Like you said with other countries, man, they definitely got it like way better. I see a lot of fucking guys now, and chicks or whatever you know, they pick something, get a student loan, go like $16K, $20K, $30K if they're going to a big school, $100K in debt.
Yep.
To go to school, get halfway through and go, shit, I didn't want to do this.
Hey, people
and then
killing
you just
themselves over that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
well, it's
crazy.
like you can't turn back. You're stuck with that.
Yeah.
It's not like in other countries where it's like, just go to a different trade school. It's fine. We'll pull you out, put you in there. Yeah. Let's bounce you around till you find something that you can live with doing for the rest of your life.
Hey, yeah, I mean, and it's not always. You never know. You know, that's the other thing about college is you change career paths a lot. You know, the average person does anyways.
Yeah, which is why I've always been... The only reason I haven't gone to school yet is, like... I don't want to end up like that, you know? I'm not sure... I want to do this for a living.
Sure.
Which, if that's the case, I can go take an audio engineer class and learn anything that I haven't figured out on my own already.
Sure.
And you don't need a degree for that. It's just one class.
Right.
You get a certificate for it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about modern societies. It's like, you know, you got all these tools outside of college. College is a tool, but it's a pretty old one, right? And it's the same thing. It's designed, public school and college, especially community colleges, are designed not for, you know, not, special isn't the word, but not for people who are unusually sure of what they're going to do with their life. It's for people that are undetermined or are okay with settling for just a trade job that makes a lot of money. It depends on what you want, man. I mean, if your dream is to make $40K a year and be on, I'm about to quote Gary Vee, be on 3 softball teams, right? And you go to all your kids' Little League games and that's your dream, man. No one's going to judge you for that, but to assume that somebody's a failure because that common dream is not the idea for everybody, it's just wrong. It's incorrect, sir. Because there's so many more opportunities for you, especially in this society. You can get paid to be an Instagram model. You can get paid, like I said, if I get my dog big enough, she gets 10K, man, my dog could be raking in some dough, man. Go on adventures with Nanook, man. That's the idea. But it's those kind of things. I mean, if you don't have an entrepreneurial spirit and you're more of just a busy bee worker, that's fine, you know. But that's not everybody. So that's my rub with college. Is it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be a doctor, like college is the way to go, man. Yeah. Med school for sure is what you're looking at, but. If you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be even an actor nowadays, you know, there's a lot of online courses that can teach you a lot of stuff. I just crocheted a hat the other day for the first time. I know that's I know that's random, but hey, I watched one YouTube video. I crocheted the hat. Did it. Done. That's my Christmas present this year.
That's a big problem with doctors too, is because of how much debt they get into going to school. So like, I want to be a doctor, and they're stuck with it because they're like 150K in debt. Right. They're like, if I'm not a doctor, I won't be able to pay this off. And then it forces them. You get a lot of issues with like doctors at big hospitals just flying through patients just because they're like, hey, if I see 30 patients in a day, that's a chunk out of my, student loan.
Hey, that's right, man. But that's the thing about small business too, is that's a tough business model to deal with, because you got to run that business all the time. Residual income is the new thing. I think a lot of people are realizing that he has to be there. If that doctor takes a vacation to Cancun for a week, he could lose a patient. There's another doctor that's waiting to take that patient on.
It's a free market, baby.
He has to sustain that business. It's hard. For a small businesses are in a tough spot. If that's what you like to do, it's great. Hey, man, I got a lot of small business owners that I know in the Valley. That Twin Beans Coffee Company.
Oh, the guy's good.
Yeah.
He's good people.
Slice, Twin Falls Sandwich Company. If you like running small businesses, we need that. I like being able to go get a personally homemade sandwich at a sandwich shop in Twin,
Mom and pop shop, yeah.
on Main Street. I like being able to host dance. I like being able to talk to that business owner and not have corporate to go through and just be able to interact with them. There's a place for small business owners, and there's a place for...
Yeah, they hit a market that big businesses don't, because they got all the fucking hoops you got to jump through and shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's like...
Talk about enlightenment. That's where it's at.
Support small business.
Yep, everybody has their own place in the universe.
Support your local podcaster, patreon.com/yuck.
That's right. That's right. I get no percent of those earnings.
Fuck you, it's like $2.85.
Yeah.
I gotta hold on to every one of that.
That's right. No, I'm kidding. But no, man, it's the truth. But yeah, back to after that long ass tangent. Seeing people in the city that we went to high school with is pretty crazy. Especially when they're not doing like what you thought they would be doing, and you're like, "Whoa, man! Like, where did you come from?"
People having babies and shit, man.
Well, it's weird for me too, because like to explain, just like you asked, to explain to somebody what I do, me as a profession, what I do as a ballroom dance instructor, they're like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like,
You judging me?
You're judging me, first of all, and second of all, that took a long ass time. Thank you.
You should have something a little bit more insightful to say after I spiel to you for 30 minutes about what I do for a living.
I'm sustaining an art that is going extinct. All right, you should, my class is free. You should come to it. By the way, if you're in Twin, Social Mondays every Monday night at 7:30. It's a free class. Doesn't cost any money. That's what free means. Come in, dance with some gals, some guys if you're into that. There you go. That's not a good advertisement. Social Mondays, 7:30 p.m. We go over 3 dances every time. Starts at the beginning level. It's always entry-level positions so that you can always learn how to dance no matter where you're at in life. Even if you think you got 2 left feet, as long as you can move the left foot and the left shoe, you're good.
There you go.
There you go.
As simple as that, folks.
Simple as that. Anyways. But yeah, people in high school. I don't know how many people I've seen, but gosh, what I run into is parents, man. It's the weirdest thing. And it's the strangest thing because it's like I don't remember them. So it's like,
and they remember you because you're one of the 4 black people in Idaho.
Yes, dude. Or I acted in the show or something, or I danced with their kiddo in some dance. But what's really crazy? Funny story about that. So a year ago, I was going through the parade of homes, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I should name names on this podcast. Probably shouldn't.
Just keep it to first names, or we'll make up names for them, and you just tell me what they are.
Okay. So here's the made up name, like a 50s cartoon style.
It's fine. Okay.
Blondie. There you go. So, anyways, Blondie's mom. Okay.
Yep.
I was going through the parade of homes. Oh gosh, that already is incriminating. She's gonna know. Okay, so. Okay. I was touring a house once, and I ran into a certain person that we're going to call Blondie from high school's mom, right? And it was the weirdest thing because, I don't know if I can tell the story without incriminating myself. There's so many specific details.
It's all right. Just go. I can chop it up later.
Okay.
I'll make you sound worse.
So here, there you go. So anyways, I was going to this house. This chick's mom comes up to me. And I didn't really like this chick at all, to be honest. Like in high school, she was kind of rude to me. But anyway, I mean, she was okay. But to me, I'm an advocate for the lame, man, for the lame ducks. I'm an advocate. If people are being made fun of, I don't like that. That really rubs me the wrong way. Yeah. So I was even if someone hasn't been mean to me, which was the case in a lot of stuff. Like Jason Sims always tried to be. God damn it, I just named drop. That one black guy. Always trying to be
the other black guy.
Yeah, the other black guy in our school. He was always trying to relate to me. Like he's looking at me for black jokes. I'm like, just leave me alone. I'm trying to do my math homework. I'm not trying to start a political debate in Mr. Moody's class, all right? And so, anyways, so I don't like people. I have some residual hate. If someone gets hated on, I hate the hater, even though they haven't hated on me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so she just rubbed me the wrong way a couple times. So I'm like, all right, well, we're not really on first, best friend basis, but I'll be nice to you because you're cool and you program. That's awesome. for someone that has your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways,
Yeah.
So I run into her mom the other day, and it's like her mom. This mom, she's like one of those, like, you know, the soccer moms, or like any mom that's super into their kid's life, and they're like, their kid's super competitive, and so they want their kid to do like all the first place stuff in the team. They're like, hey, you know, my kid has to be the one. You can't take any other kids. My kid's this, my kid's that. Well, this mom did that, right? She was like super into her daughter's life. And I guess she thought that she was the shit, man. I guess she thought that I would know who she was. So she comes up to me and she's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hey.
What was poppin', bitch?
What's up? Hey, you know, how are you doing? And she's like, good. You don't remember me? I'm like,
No.
no. Nope, I don't. Sorry. And she's like, well, I'm so-and-so's mom. I'm like, that makes sense. Sorry.
I get it.
I get it. There it is. So anyways, that was the story. It's not as fun now that I had to take out all the details.
I know. I worked for her.
You did?
Yeah.
For the real estate company?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I interned there, me and Joel.
Christensen?
Yeah.
Hey. Shout out to Joel, dude. What's up, my man?
He's coming back from his mission soon, I think.
Bro. I saw his father the other day.
Yeah, I see his father all the time.
It's weird. That's where we got. That's how we got to this conversation. Is I see parents all the time. I don't see kids anymore. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So you want to go down a religion rabbit hole?
here it goes.
Or do you want to keep going through?
I'm ready.
What you want to
No.
go through twins?
We can come back. We can come back. It can be edited.
You got anything else for twin that you want to?
Man, we can talk about twin forever, man.
That's true.
You gotta understand. I'm not in the amygdala yet, but I'm in the cerebrum of the working mechanism that is our city. I'm moving around. That was a nerdy reference. I'm moving around moving around the gray matter. People are talking. There are semblances of me.
You gotta follow him.
Hey, man, and it's weird. A lot of older people.
That's good, man.
A lot of
So
like it's the
we were talking about before. You said you want to start a show too, right?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start my own podcast, and I think it's gonna be called I'm definitely not sure. That's what I'm gonna call it,
I'm definitely not sure.
and that'll be the catchphrase because I feel like I know a lot of trivia. I'm gonna fix my headband right now so my afro doesn't get whack. I know a lot of trivia about weird stuff, just a lot of random stuff, and I'm into a lot of stuff too, like, you know, anime, video games, ballroom dancing of all things, you know, and randomly in a lot of honey. I almost said honey pots. In a lot of pots. Put my hands in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I dabble. I'm a noodler, you could say. So anyways, I'm gonna start a podcast, and that's gonna be the catchphrase. Is I'm gonna say I'm definitely not sure about this, but blah blah blah.
Every time I go on there, I'm gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That'll be the antithesis.
And I'm definitely not sure about this. For the record, it's kind of gray for me, but yeah, dude. Yeah. No, I'm gonna start a show because I'm gonna start vlogging more. I have my first vlog out on my channel. It's called This Amazing Life, is my YouTube channel, and I've got some really. So okay. So let me explain myself. Okay. I jumped the gun a little bit, right? Picked up my T6i. First week, took 5,000 pictures, at least 50 videos, just craziness, just video, just recording everything. I was super into macro photography for a while, just taking a bunch of pine cone shots, bunch of like pedal shots, bunch of, you know, playing with my lenses, just getting the feel for my camera. Now I can manage my T6i really well, right? And just this weird cringy phase. I could only use portrait mode or landscape mode, and then I learned how to use manual, and I found out about ISO, all that stuff anyways. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be a vlogger right now. And so I just picked it up, filmed, you know, waited. I think it was Western Days was happening, or something was happening, some parade. But anyways, I filmed the whole thing. It was a good episode. Edited it. It was like the best. Like the stars aligned with with what I did, and didn't know what the hell I was doing with my camera, so the stars aligned with the footage that I caught. It just happened to be good, you know. slapped it all together. It was like 23 minutes, right? Super like weird, nostalgic vibes. You watch the thing, it's like got some B-roll sequences. Pretty good, right? Like got on Epidemic Sound, got some backtracks, did my thing. And then left it on a cliffhanger at the end, things like that. Super weird. Like had an intro. Like I had this whole thing planned. Like this whole, and I still haven't planned, but anyway, I'll get to that. Like I filmed this like super scary intro, kind of not scary, but like kind of abstract, like filming things in my house, creepy music, ghosts and like weird stuff. And it was like this whole conceptualized idea. Dropped the vlog. That was in March. Haven't vlogged since.
See, I did the same thing when I started this podcast because I
Right.
did the episode with Jonathan and I did the episode with Kimball.
Right.
3 months later, I got Asterios and Sammy on.
Right. And so basically what happened is I did all this stuff, did all this work, and I just jumped the gun on my editing skills. Then I realized when I dropped the vlog, like the first vlog, dropped it on YouTube, and I was like, man, I actually don't know what I'm doing when it comes to editing. I can do some masking, and I can do I can jump cut really well, and I've been watching like Casey Neistat and stuff. I understand what I'm doing, but I didn't, right? And so after that, so what's happening now, fast forward to now, right? What's been happening since March to here is it's not like I've been just chilling. It's not like I'm like, don't use my camera anymore. What's actually happened is I filmed a feature-length film with my buddy Aaron Mitten, shout out to that, be out soon. Did some comedy sketches with a couple of other dudes, just acting stuff, not really video stuff. But the biggest thing is my buddy Danny. He's the head video guy over at Plant Therapy, right? He's been doing commercials for a long time. Really good at video editing. He's entered into like video, like film festivals, won like the H4H or whatever, 848 or whatever. That's not the name. That's not the name. But anyways,
I met him for a half a second through a buddy of mine that works over at Plant Therapy. But go ahead.
Nice. Yeah. So just going through, and he saw me act in Sister Act, and so he was like, and at that time I was jumping the gun, so I put in my, funny how the world works, I put in the program of Sister Act amateur videographer, right? Even though I had my camera for a week. Put it in there just to see if I could get some people, and it did. Danny came up to me and he's like, hey, I see you're an amateur videographer. I do video, man. Let me get your number. I'll call you. And it was one of those. I was like, he's not going to call me. A month later, he literally calls me. He's like, hey, man, sorry I haven't been, I just got to, I'm moving around in my job a little bit. We're launching a live show, and this is literally how he sounds, is my impression of Danny. Launching a live show, man. We're super good into it, but I just wanted to hit you back because I had your number and you said you were into video stuff, right? And he's like the nicest guy in the world, I swear. Yeah, and Danny's super nice. And so that's what I've been doing, is I literally have been helping him on his live shows that he does for Plant Therapy, just manning cameras, random B-roll sequences, helping him edit GIFs, like pull out GIFs and stuff. Been doing really technical stuff for the past 6 or 7 months with video editing and audio editing. And I'm now getting to the point where I have enough skills to where now I'm contracting myself out to other companies to do video stuff for them, film, record, direct, edit, whatever they need. And then anything that I don't know how to do, I ask Danny. He shows me how. The only problem is that I edit on Premiere Pro. It's on Final Cut. And so, there's the jump there.
Yeah, you got to go Blender all the way. You got to throw both of those out. You got to do Blender for the whole thing. I'm not fucking around.
There you go.
Everything I do is on Blender. Open source, baby.
That's right. That's right. So it's super interesting. So what I did, and Gary Vaynerchuk, just so you know, that's who I listen to a lot. I watch a lot of Casey Neistat. He's cool. Basically, that's what I do at work, is when I'm cleaning stuff, I'll just listen to vlogs, even though I can't see them, which is kind of sacrilege, because the whole point is that they're really good at video editing. But I listen to it because I want to absorb that information. And one of the things that basically Gary Vaynerchuk says all the time is, he's like, you just got to stick your head down like an ox. Just work. Like, don't even look up. He's like, go to sleep through your 20s. Just work. Wake up when you're 30. Tell me how it goes. That's his thing. And that's a bit, that's a bit much. But basically what he's saying is, he's like, don't jump the gun. Exactly what I did. I picked up a camera, thought I was the shit, put on my video, and I didn't do anything else with it, because then I wanted to do all this other cool stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that, and so I can't do it, and so I had to learn all this technical stuff and get the experience. And so that's what I've been doing the last couple months. It's just getting the experience. So anyway, back to the podcast. That's what I did. So I went out, jumped the gun again, bought a Yeti.
I got a couple of podcasts for you to listen to because...
There you go.
So there's a show... There's already shows that have this kind of theme, but I feel like you'll have a better twist on it.
Sure.
The Biggest Problem in the Universe. I mentioned Asterios before. So I have to give you some background information. So The Biggest Problem in the Universe was a podcast hosted by two guys. Their persona names were Maddox and Dick Masterson. And they both had very, very popular satire books.
Sure.
Maddox wrote I Am Better Than Your Kids and The Alphabet of Manliness.
I'm not texting. I'm putting this in my notes on my phone.
Okay.
So I know.
And Dick Masterson wrote a book that's very controversial. He's probably the most well-known satirical misogynist in the world.
Hey, there you go.
Wrote the book called Men Are Better Than Women. And so they hosted the podcast called The Biggest Problem in the Universe. And every week they bring in one or two problems.
Okay.
And they had a voting system on their website. So you go in and you can vote whether this is a problem or this is not. And the goal was, by the end of the show, is they would have a list in order of all the biggest problems in the universe so other people can go fix them, you know, or at least they're identified so something can be done about them. And so their friend, both their mutual friend Asterios Kokonos, was frequently featured in the podcast. So fast forward, that was 2014, beginning of 2014. Fast forward 2 years, the show ends. Okay. Kind of abruptly. No one knows what happens. So Maddox starts his own show called The Best Debate in the Universe, I think. Whatever that show's called.
Right.
And then Dick starts The Dick Show.
Okay.
And that's thedickshow.com, not dickshow.com, otherwise you get porn. Or dick.show, that'll take you to the right place.
Right.
And so what happened was they went to a mutual friend's wedding, not a stereosis, but they went to a mutual friend's wedding, and Dick, being the chauvinistic man that he is, took one of Maddox's ex-girlfriends home.
Whoa.
Even he had a different girlfriend that he was living with.
Uh-oh.
And he got super pissed about it. Like, he was texting her, calling her, and all this stuff.
Sure.
And then, so that's why The Biggest Problem ended. And then lawsuits were filed, like, relentlessly. And then eventually...
For the name or what?
At first it was for the copyright to The Biggest Problem in the Universe, because Maddox filed it for himself. He was going to just take it all for himself. Dick move, right? And so he lost that lawsuit. Right. Dick owns half the custody of the lawsuit. And then everyone had this weird conspiracy theory that Maddox wanted to be a polygamist, or be like in a weird open relationship with a bunch of different chicks that he could all have to himself because of the way he treated women. Like, why he got upset when a different one of his ex-girlfriends left a wedding with his friend, you know? It's like, at least he's going with your friend, you know, it's fine.
Right.
And so everyone called him a cuck because everyone's taking chicks from him.
Right.
And so eventually what that boiled down to was he sued Patreon, a news company, or a advertising company in New York that Asterios worked for. Okay. Asterios, Dick, a guy that made a parody character of him called Mad Cucks.
Right.
A bunch of different other entities. Someone at Patreon customer service, like a specific guy that just works customer service.
Right.
Just like all these things. And he lost everyone else's case, but Asterios has got thrown out because he sued him in New York.
Right.
But it was a location, it was a jurisdiction issue. But Asterios lives in New York and does his business in New York. So for the last 4 months, or no, even longer, it's probably in almost a year, he's been fighting this guy on a lawsuit, going into debt because like he has to pay for a lawyer to protect him in a court of law.
Sure.
And we just finally got word that, because for a while it was like they were just doing extensions for Maddox because his lawyer was an alcoholic, like this weird dude, Kevin Landau. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
And the criticism was that they were harassing Maddox. Well, the thing is, in the United States, if you're a public figure, people are openly allowed to, not harass you, but criticize you. Mm-hmm. No one ever, like, personally went up to him and harassed him. It's just called him a cuck on the internet.
Sure.
It probably got a little bit more gory than that as far as language, but it's all protected by the freedom of speech.
Sure.
And so his lawyer was arguing with the judge that it shouldn't be protected by the freedom of speech, but he says, but it is. And if you keep arguing with me, I'm going to put you in prison, in cuffs, in jail. And so since then, everyone else's stuff got thrown out, and the judge said, look, you got time, you got this much time to get your shit together, refile your case, because yours is the only one that's valid in the state of New York. So get your shit together and then come back. Gave him an extension. Very, very end of the extension. Talking Friday night, 11:59 p.m., they put in their stuff. And their stuff was just a request for another extension so he could get a different lawyer.
Right.
He said that, yeah, it's fine. So they gave him 2 more weeks. That leads us up to last Friday. We finally got word he couldn't get the other lawyer to refile anything. So Asterios is finally off the hook, and we're getting doing a countersuit for damages of what he had to pay his lawyer to protect himself in a bullshit case.
Sounds like a big old situation.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
But yeah, the Dick Show community is a great group of guys. I've worked with a bunch of them now, like Asterios especially. The joke around my friend Riley, I've been on his show, Kimball, he's been on the show, is we're Asterios' Sweet Angel Boys podcast network. We're his adopted stepchildren.
There you go.
But we're all very happy to see that he's finally out of this bullshit. So in order to get all the history, you have to go back. I just finished listening to The Biggest Problem because I got in like halfway through the Dick Show. So you got to go back, listen to all The Biggest Problem, and then all the Dick Show. Okay. And get all that hot goss.
Okay. Gotta get it up. Gotta get up in there, man. I'm with it. It's a big problem in the universe.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with it. I don't know much about the
podcast game.
Podcast community. I don't know much.
It's just a bunch of people that do podcasts listening to other podcasts.
Yeah, I know voice is the future. I know that, a lot of people, statistics show, a lot of people aren't really visually watching things anymore. They're just listening to things in the background. So it makes sense. Smart move. There you are. You just gotta...
And you still have
cut through
a video aspect for those people that do want to watch and see the faces and stuff.
Absolutely, man. In fact, I just got to... the only podcast that I've watched extensively is probably Joe Rogan's podcast.
Joe's got it. Ugh, excuse me. Joe's got a good podcast.
Especially with like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Watch the one with Elon Musk.
Got a lot of trouble, dude.
Dude, come on.
Did you see that interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Some dude from TMZ just ran up to him.
Oh,
what do you think about Elon Musk smoking weed? Let him do what he wants.
Yeah, let him do what he wants, man. He's just,
He has the responsibility as an FCC. Just fuck up. Dude, he didn't even inhale it.
Yeah,
he literally went.
Yeah.
Got in his mouth and he went. And he's like, yeah, I'm not even high. Yeah. Here, Joe. You can have this back.
Well, that's basically what he said. He's like, basically from Elon's perspective, you're talking about it, and he's like, I can't, because to me, it doesn't allow me to function, and I don't like functioning. He wants to be useful to people. That's what he said. Yeah. So you can't just be so really the controversy is that I think what happened. I'm definitely not sure about this.
Keep going. You're good. I'll correct you if you're wrong.
Definitely not sure about this, but apparently, like, Tesla was going to go private with its investors, but then it had to come back to the public somehow. And because he has public investors, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Is that the investors that invest in his company don't agree with his decisions. And then there was this huge stink. I was trying to frickin' explain to a friend of mine. I was like, do you know what the Tesla New Age Roadster can do next gen? And they're like, didn't you hear? Didn't you hear? Elon Musk isn't going to be running Tesla anymore. I'm like, so I had to go do my research, listen to the podcast, do everything. I don't think he's on his way out, dude.
No.
He can. He's like one of the smartest guys alive, man.
No.
And he's a crazy innovator. He freaking sold flamethrowers for a profit. Well, blowtorches. And
Big blowtorches.
Yeah, and said not a flamethrower. That's genius.
What do you think about Jordan Peterson?
Jordan Peterson, don't know who that is.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Again, that's more of a personal conversation than a podcast conversation. I just like, if people do have an opinion about him, because he's like super controversial. You probably know him if you saw him. You know when Canada passed that law about Title IX C-16, where you have to use a trans person's preferred gender pronouns.
Oh, is it the guy that changed the mind guy? Changed my mind?
Probably.
No.
That's Loud Earth Crowder.
No, okay.
He's a really old Canadian dude.
Oh, okay.
He's like in his 50s. Not Crowder. I hate Crowder. Because this is the thing. I tell this to everyone that comes on the show. There's a big problem in media entertainment.
Sure.
Where people with opinions way out here making fun of people way over here making a lot of money. And a lot of people over here... Oh, fuck, no one can see my hands. A lot of people over here making a lot of money making fun of people over here.
Sure.
Nothing's getting done. People are just... A few people are making a lot of money and everyone's hating each other.
Right.
There is a happy medium where you're probably not going to make as much money as people on either side.
Right.
But where a better society exists, somewhere in the middle. You start talking to people, find a middle ground.
There you go.
Like Loud Earth Crowder was the example that me and Asterios talked about. He sits out, there's only two genders, change my mind. There's no point in changing his mind, because if he does, then he loses credit as a, right dude, makes less money, and then people are still going to hate him for having those views in the past. So it's like nothing gets accomplished even if they do change your mind. You're just using other people to make content.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Whole MGK Eminem, that's what I think it is about, man.
It's outrage culture, dude.
Yeah, they're just... Eminem drops a diss track because he knows. He's like, I know you guys. You're going to be on me like nothing. It's funny because a lot of people think that MGK was like literally was waiting with a diss. Like he had already made the track and he's just waiting for Eminem to come back. On it. Sleeping on it a little bit. He had to have. He responded so quickly. It's like, oh my gosh, how can you...
It could just be good, bro. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
I haven't been following it that close.
That's true. It is. It's pretty... You know what? Eminem... I think Eminem's a better rapper. But
hey, but me and you, we grew up on Eminem.
That's true.
That's what we bumped since we were...
It's true.
Grade,
I mean,
bro.
yeah, we grew up... Eminem, yeah. You could say that, yeah. Especially with my mom. 50 Cent and Eminem, my stepfather and my mom.
Biggie, fucking... Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, not so much for me, but...
That was more a me and Adley thing. We got
yeah, Adley's super into hip-hop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Me and Adley, I just group you in.
Became a man to some Eminem, man. Eminem was the stuff. No, okay, so, yeah, have you heard Kill Shot then? His response to MGK? Yeah.
No.
We gotta listen to it after this, too. It's actually pretty good. Have you heard Rap Devil, though? MGK's response to
Yeah, I heard that. The one who's just got a fucking shovel. He's being all weird with that fucking...
Beard is weird, man.
Fucking weirdo.
Beard is weird. It was good.
It's like...
It was good.
It is good, but...
Here's
the thing. Is that, like... People like to point out this trend with Eminem where he'll put out something that just means a lot to him.
Right.
Like, personally, like the whole Revival album, which I really liked, but overall...
Nobody really... It didn't succeed well, yeah.
And because it was mostly just like a lot of his personal stuff and then a Donald Trump criticism in there,
Sure.
And then every other album. So he'll do one he likes, and then the other one's just criticizing pop culture, politics,
Right.
you know, whatever's bothering him at the time or whatever's
Right.
popular at the time he can make a buck off of. Which, I mean, I don't blame the guy. I just think it's like, I like the in-between albums more than the criticism ones.
Sure.
Like Guilty Conscious.
Mhm.
I like that song a lot. There's a lot of like good ones.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people just
there's
sleep on.
I think the other thing about this controversy is that when you look into, I mean, a lot of people are, so you never know what's on his mind, and he just did a recent interview with what's his name? One of the guys. Oh gosh, something. It's a one-syllable word. It's like crush or slay or slush or something. Anyways, some dude did an interview with him, and he was talking about his reasoning for dissing stuff and things like that. But one thing that's interesting about this whole thing is, one, a lot of people think that he's trying to bring battle rap back, right? So he went on with Kamikaze, dissed all these young rappers to see, some people think, to see if they'd respond. To see if,
Poke
you
the
know,
sleeping
because
bear.
because everybody else is just saying, oh, mumble rappers suck, you know? But Eminem, according to some people, was like, all right, well, I'm going to poke them all and see if they'll respond. And if they respond with something good, that's good for both of us. Means publicity for me and for you, right? Another viewpoint of the whole situation is that he really was trying to diss MGK, and then he fired back, and then Eminem fired back, and of course that's all history now. But you know, the whole, I mean, the way he talks about Kamikaze really is the style of Kamikaze, they say, is pretty retro. Pretty Slim Shady for sure. Sorry, I don't want to get stuck on that, but
No, it's cool. Because I have my thing with like Little Peep dying and stuff. I think overall, I mean, I don't want to see people die, but I think overall it's a good thing because a lot of these mumble rappers, man, all they're doing is romanticizing a lifestyle being addicted to prescription drugs, which is
it's definitely not the same. It's not that they're not deep. It's just that the saturation of songs that don't matter. They're just noise. It's a good beat, but
I like mumble rap and like mumble singing, like Joji, you know, Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
He's doing music now.
Yeah.
And I love all of his songs. Like
Yeah.
I haven't heard a song of his that I didn't like.
Yeah, he was
and
just
it's
on
the
Hot
same
Ones.
style. Yeah. He's good. I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's like, but like Little Xan, Little Peep, Little Pump, all those fucking guys, man. It's just like all you're doing is just encouraging an awful lifestyle for the next generation. That's not
tough,
gonna
man.
get us anywhere, bro.
It's true. It's, you know, and yeah.
I mean, it's cool to bump out songs. Like, I like listening to Eminem's, like, hard stuff when he was young. Like, when he talks about fucking robbing places and whatever. And I like bump it, but it's just, like, you do it with a sense of, like, respect for
What's
the
going
time.
on. Yep, exactly. Respect for the artist, what he's trying to convey. It's true, man. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. But anyways, don't want to get stuck on rap too long, but yeah, some cool stuff. But no, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Back to Twin Falls. A lot of stuff in this area that's going crazy, man. There's a lot of new development too. A lot of houses coming in. I've met a dude as a ballroom dance instructor. What's crazy is that, so this is what I'm trying to change, right? This is my rub with ballroom dancing, and I think I can say this professionally. It's an industry that caters to a lot of middle class to upper class people. It just is, because it's an expensive industry. That's why there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in
Makes the world
in
go
the
around, baby.
yeah. It's the dresses that you got to buy, the shoes you got to buy, Latin pants, the costumes. Entries for competitions, how much private lessons cost. It's a really expensive industry if you're in a bigger city. And so what I'm trying to do around here, I mean, we have this whole supply and demand thing where it's like, it's the weirdest thing. You have all of this knowledge that I just got certified with. And what's interesting is that a student will never, even a serious student, it would take me 2 or 3 years of private lessons before I ran out of stuff to teach somebody with the knowledge that I have now. Because even though I'm certified in 9 dances, I can dance 21 different dance styles. Like, I can dance those, it's just that I'm not certified in them. And so those 9 are fine. But what's interesting about it is that when you teach that to students, you always have to consider the fact that they might not get all the way through your syllabus. I have 15 moves in the bronze syllabus, and they might only learn 8 of them in their entire life. You know, they might only use, because if you have 49 moves in a dance style, how often are you going to use 38 of those moves on a regular person that you just met? You know, you can't just pull out bronze 15C on a chick that doesn't even know how to dance. You just can't do that. You know, it's going to take some time. So it's like, you know, with the knowledge that you have with a certification like that, teaching students in this area, which is Idaho, okay, with people who are traditionally going to be knowing how to dance country western swing, square dancing, circle dancing, maybe East Coast, maybe some waltz. In fact, probably most definitely some waltz passed on from their parents, maybe from an instructor, but mainly country western swing is what's good in our city, right? My rub is that I want to take this style, which is traditionally going to cater to a more rich, you know, lifestyle, and break that down and take all that professionalism and all that knowledge and give it to the people, man. Give it to, because I understand.
Yeah, it's like you said with the free Monday night stuff.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it's just like this, man. I didn't grow up in the ghetto, you know, like Detroit or Compton or something, like super rough ghettos, but I grew up for Twin Falls in what would be considered the ghetto, which is South Park, right? I grew up in a place, and Jerome.
Yeah.
I grew up in a place that was rougher, but also, you gotta understand, okay, like when you talk about ghettos, a lot of people associate it with like black people or like Hispanic people, right? But ghettos in Idaho are like trailer trash, man. It's like, and nothing wrong with those people, but it's just, that's a different lifestyle. You come in, you try to explain that to somebody, and it's like, man, like, you know, you gotta, it's just a different,
a whole different species.
It's a whole different species, dude. It's just, you know, because there's just so much hatred and so much like depression and like bogging, you know, like entrapment in that, you know, like a kid just like, it's so crazy how the ghetto transfers through the world. Every city, every region, everywhere has the poor section, you know. And in Idaho, it's really weird when you're a person of color, or you have some form of color, and and you're in those regions, because it's like you never know who you can trust. You never know who's racist and not racist.
Like, dude, we still got, you know, the last few remnants of the Klan are just north of Moscow.
Yep.
That's in, you know, they're in the Panhandle.
Point,
yeah, dude, you can't go past Moscow. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You go past that school, you're done.
Well, yeah, I've been to Spokane, and I've been to Coeur d'Alene and stuff like that, and there's, you know, I haven't encountered anything too bad, but the biggest
get a lot
thing,
of dirty looks, I bet.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is you never know who you can trust. That's the other thing, is that I think people are smart enough now in our society to understand that if they do something that is racially, you know, they're gonna get immediately flagged for it. Like, for every person that's probably, you know, a bigot or they're really racist in this society, there's 10 more people that are about to call foul on that. It's just where our society's at. We're progressing.
Yeah.
And so it's hard because so anyways, back to what I was saying. So when you talk about the ghetto or the rough side of town, that's where I'm from. I'm from I'm half black, you know, I'm quarter Irish, quarter German, you know, and so it's the weirdest thing. In my family reunions, there's all these hillbillies, then there's me. You know, just me, right? And so it's super weird, because then they're like, oh, that's my cousin, you know, that's my blood cousin. They're like, really? Like,
no, he's not. Quit fucking with
he's black. What are you talking about? You know? And so dealing with that kind of stuff, yeah, it's a little hard, but mainly it's about poverty, right? And so when I teach students, I always think about that. I'm like, if I were a student, would I fit into this class that I'm teaching right now? You know, when I was a kid, would I have been drawn to this class? No. In certain cases. Like, one of the biggest controversies was like a dress code, for instance. I don't believe in dress code. other than you have to wear clothes and they have to be respectful a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna get into the whole.
You gotta be decent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be talking
Don't
about
smell
the
like
whole,
a trash can.
Yeah,
That's not asking a lot.
It can't be the public school debate. That's a whole entire different story. With dress code. For dancing, you have to respect your partner. You can't be stinking. You gotta wear deodorant. Gotta have a breath mint. Because you're dancing together. You're physically sweating and touching on it. So you can't just be nasty, right? But I don't believe in a formal dress code. I don't believe that you have to wear a blazer in a class or you have to wear a tie or even business casual. I think you can just come casually to a class. And the reason why is because I think back for a poor kid who's coming into this class who's already afraid to be here. They already got social anxiety. Their parents are already maybe they don't know that they're there, or their dad's calling them a sissy because they want to dance instead of play football or something like that. You get that kid, and I'm like, I would not want to be in a class like that. I would not feel like I fit in, especially my younger high school self where I'm kind of I'm an introvert and I'm very socially awkward. I wouldn't come back to that class. I might attend it once, but I wouldn't come back. And that's what I want. I want a higher surplus of kids that'll come back to my class because they feel like they fit in. And I know that I can't apply to all kids. Just like life, you can't apply to everybody. But I want to bring that from the pedestal down to a region where eventually social dancing can come back as a social phenomenon and not just as something that our grandparents do. Right?
That's quite the fucking goal, man. It's admirable.
It's hard. In this area, it's happening. In other words, I can see the end. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
Basically, what you'll have to do is just like anything else. I got to work with a small group of kids, train them the best I can. Once they know how to really dance, they go out, they dance. People look at them, they see them, they say, oh, wow, that kid's really good at dancing. Where'd you learn that from? They come to me, I teach them, their friends like it. With teenagers, you're really working with their peers, right? It's really peer pressure, right? If so-and-so's doing it, I guess I can do it too. Yay. They come into my class, right? You're not going to get teenagers there otherwise. They don't respond to posters well unless they're driven. They're already doing a billion things,
Oh, yeah.
It's one of two issues. Either this teenager is saying dance isn't cool or worth my time, so I'm not going to come. Or they're in a sport that their parents are probably making them play for college to get a scholarship or something, and they really don't have time. They're like, oh, it's volleyball season or soccer season or track season or basketball season or wrestling season. It's always something, right? And so it's really hard for teenagers. It's a tough thing. You got to navigate the waters a little bit.
Yeah. I think, okay, so I'd like to end the show on this point because something we talked about in the last episode, WikiLeaks.
Sure.
Was, we talked about, you know what the Matthew principle is, right?
Sure.
Matthew 13:12.
Thinking.
Where Jesus is on a boat talking to people on the beach and speaking to them in parables and halfway through the parable he says that to those who have everything more will be given and to those who have nothing everything will be taken.
Right.
And so I feel like that fits in with what you are trying to help deflect.
Sure, man.
Because like you said with the poverty areas, they don't ever get better. They only get poorer and they only get bigger.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's a really tough dynamic, because with those kids, you never know what's going on. You really don't, and everyone's different too. Everything that I thought, like with the stuff that I went through, there's somebody who's went through worse, of course, always. But to me, in my perception, in my reality, the things that I went through were pretty bad for me, For another kid, his Power Ranger could break. That's the end of his world. It's tough. That's a tough question. So you never know what those kids are going through at home. You never know if they're getting beaten, only yelled at, raped, whatever. That's heavy stuff. But you gotta understand, as a ballroom dance instructor, you are kind of a therapist. Because if you give this, so if you're able to penetrate them, if you're able to get through that force field of social anxiety, of this kid blocking you off, just saying, oh, you speed, get out of my way, right? Get out of here, right? If you get through that, and you're able to do that, it's a really special thing, but it's a really tough thing too, because now that kid's looking up to you, right? And so, you know,
that's where you kind of become an armchair psychologist.
Yeah, it really is, because then, you know, and it's hard because you're a professional, so you can't just get involved with this kid's life, you know, because you can't, that's exhausting for you, you know, you're gonna eventually you're gonna have to quit that, you know, because it's just not, when you have the weight, I mean, it's hard. That's hard stuff, man. If you have the weight of all this stuff that this kid's telling you, and eventually you have all these students that are like, you know, you're like, my gosh, I'm like,
that's the same thing that we talked about too. Is like, it's hard enough to bear your own cross, but if you're picking up other people's pieces of theirs and you're putting them on yours, and you're just like, if we're in the metaphor of Jesus and you got the weight of everyone's sins on your shoulders, you can't fucking walk up the hill to get yourself hung, you know. It's like, cause
only Jesus can do that, right?
That's
only
the Son of God.
Yeah, you gotta be a tough mofo to do that stuff, man. No, and it really
JC
is.
was a bad motherfucker.
And so it's really hard, I think, and it's a really tough dynamic. But you're absolutely right in that things have to equalize. They can't be so polarized anymore, especially, I think, in this area at least. I can do it in this area. I don't know if it would work in any other area.
And I think you picked the right time to do it too, because at the rate we're growing, if you would have waited like another year, you would have lost that opportunity. It'd be gone.
Yeah, and it'll never be truly lost, but really, I mean, it really is a tough thing, especially with teenagers. With adults, it's easy. They already know about ballroom dancing. You know, you don't really even have to. With my class, I get 20 to 30 people every week just for the beginner class, you know, and they're, you know, they just randomly find out about it. I haven't even done any serious promoting. If I did some serious promoting, I'd have to find another building, to be honest, because really, like, those are 20 to 30 solid people who have been coming to the same class for 3 years now. Like, that's a solid group of people.
Have you picked up clients from that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Or at least made some connections, help, you know.
Well, as a ballroom dance instructor, you're a professional. It's a weird profession to be in, because it's a very social profession. If you can dance, that opens the door for a lot of opportunities to make connections. Like, for instance, the other night I was at the fireman's ball. Why was I at the fireman's ball? I have no clue. I was dancing. That's what I was doing. But I didn't have any firemen that I was celebrating. It's a cool fundraiser. Nothing against firemen. Love the fireman's ball. It's a great cause. What they were raising money for was great. But it's those type of things that random people would never in their life think of. You probably didn't even know that was going on at the Turf Club.
No.
Yeah. Policeman's ball was the next week at Canyon Crest. I know those things. They're in my radar, right, as a dance instructor. Why? Because here's the other thing. So this is crazy. Because I've started dancing so much, and I'm smart about it too. I don't just sit on my skill. My girlfriend-ish, complicated type situation, but we'll call her my girlfriend, yeah. Or you could say just my casual dance partner. We go out, we dance, do our thing, and then people calls come in. Hey, we've got the Jubilee Ball, we've got this corporate party that I'm trying to do, we've got the fireman's ball, policeman's ball, can you do this? All of a sudden, this one skill that I had a very direct purpose with it, where I'm trying to bring it back, only ballroom dancing. All of a sudden, instantly making all these connections. Then you get in the newspaper. I was in the newspaper for 6 weeks for 4 different things, like on the front page, like just. And I don't really read the newspaper, but it was crazy. You know, I was in there for a lip sync battle. I was in there for my birthday party that I was throwing, that I made posters for and commercials for. I was in there for the ballroom dance event that I was doing. I was in there for my Social Mondays class that they were putting on. It was a weird alignment of the stars. And you just get all these connections. People start approaching. They're like, I saw you dance at the Twin Falls tonight. You know, I was hanging up a poster in Jensen's Jewelers. My buddy Antonio works for them. But anyways, I was downtown hanging up a poster. And someone literally walks in to buy a ring. And I'm talking about my birthday party, and she looks at the guy and she's like, he's a fantastic dancer. You should definitely go to whatever he's telling you to do. And then walks out the room. I'm like, who was that? I don't know who you are. You know, I can't. I was just talking to my casual dance partner earlier about that, where it's like, you know, I can't go anywhere without people recognizing me now. And it's really hard in a small town like this, right? I'd be a nobody in Chicago or something. But in Twin Falls, it's like I can't go anywhere without, like, seeing somebody. You know, just random, like, hundreds of people that I know. And it's all through ballroom dancing and performing. Performing in general. Acting, singing, dancing, whatever. In fact, I got some gigs coming up. Anchor Bistro and Von Scheitz Brewing. Play guitar, too. Didn't tell you that.
Shit, man. We can do some music together.
There you go, man.
Do some fun shit. All right.
That's right.
Tell everyone where to find you right now, what you got going on the internet.
Yeah, so I've got my Instagram. I guess they're not really active too much right now because, like I said, I've been trying to figure out Twitter and Facebook stories. But anyways, you got Kaishon Heyman on Instagram, Twin Falls Live on Instagram, The Bland Guitar on Instagram, Nanook the Dog on Instagram. Those are the Instagram accounts that I have.
All right.
Then you've got
on
YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube, it's called This Amazing Life. Definitely watch my vlog intro. That's what it's called. So if you look up intro, This Amazing Life, that's the first vlog. Especially if you want to see what Twin Falls looks like. There's a lot of the city in that video.
A lot of downtown, right?
Yeah, a lot of downtown. Well, there's a lot of stuff. I was in the college.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were only Western days, but...
Well, yeah, I was in the whole general scheme of things. It was
okay.
an
Well, yeah,
interesting-
you'll see a good chunk of town then.
Good chunk of town in that vlog.
Come see where we yuck it up.
Twitter, Kaishon Heyman. There you go. And Facebook. Yeah, I have a fan page, Kaishon Heyman on Facebook.
You have a fan page? You have a dedicated fan page?
Not really a fan page so much as I needed to run commercials for my birthday page, and I can't do that through my personal Facebook, so I needed to set up an ad account.
Gotcha.
You get it.
In a bit, yeah, I got you. All right, go find Kaishon's stuff. See you next Tuesday.
Funny story, I actually threw up in front of his office.
Tastes like
Just
shit.
Kimball.
Don't be gross.
Yellowmouth Yuck after Bible. Here we go.
Yuck. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's yucking time.
That's stereos. After you're done checking out Kaishon's stuff, go to patreon.com, yuck, support the show. You know, I work at a yogurt factory for a living. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it anymore. Go throw me $1. You get a bonus episode once a month. $2, you can become part of the intro, outro. See you next Tuesday.